So this is the euro dollar analysis for Thursday the 19th of October. Now let's just have a look what happened with euro dollar on Wednesday the 18th. Start over here. So initially we had the rejection of the moving average here in black, the 400 period moving average. We have come back down, gone slightly below the low previously at around 1736, and buyers appear to be in the market at that level, and we've actually seen prices reversed upwards towards 1810. Now this could be interpreted as being a double bottom down here, which is a bullish sign, as we have broken above the 50 period moving average as well as the 400, and now we're reacting to the 200 period moving average. So what do we expect going forward? If the bullish price momentum continues, if this is merely a pullback from where we are rather than a reversal from this 1810 which was previously a pivot, we could see a bull flag form along the support here at 1788 and around 1790. The next major support is at 1770. If we do form go into a bit of consolidation and a further break to the upside, we'll be looking for a move up to 1830. The next major level marked out here in red, and if we do break and hold above it, break, retest from above, we'll be looking for a test of, should be 1910. I guess this has been moved. Let me just get this on the chart correctly, and it should be, let's see, 1910. Yep, 1910. If we do break and hold above 1830, move to 1910. If, however, we do break down from here, i.e. we see momentum candles heading to the downside, we'll be looking how prices react in around 1770. If we're not able to hold it, again, this level around 1740 would be an area we'll be looking at. We do have the pivot from a couple of weeks ago at 1728, and below that we've got a major level at 1710. To the downside, now a break of 1710, we'll be looking at somewhere in the region of the 1690s and 1675, which I'll look at later as possible areas where we might find dynamic support for prices. Further away from that, we're looking at 1612, but that's a medium to long term target if prices do break down. Overall, though, especially on the higher time frames, we are in a bullish trend on euro dollar overall. So a move to the upside would be in alignment with the overall trend to the upside, particularly on the monthly chart. So let's just have a look at the higher time frames briefly. So let's get the scale on here correct. So as you can see on the monthly chart, we've had a bit of consolidation. We've kind of formed a triple bottom down here in pretty much close to parity with the dollar. The euro has broken to the upside pretty strongly. We appear to be pulling back at the moment. We did have a bearish month last month, and currently this month we are trading pretty much near the month's open. So it's a bit of a doge at the moment, because the month opened at 1788. We're currently trading around 1792, is it? Yeah, 1792. So it's within 4 pips of where the month opened. So we're still oscillating in around the month's open. We have pushed downwards and pushed upwards, but prices have not held either way. The bulls and the bears are in a battle which none of them seem to want to win at the moment. So a catalyst is needed for there to be a stronger move in a particular direction on euro dollar. But overall, how prices are developing, it does appear that we are forming a bit of a bull flag for a continuation to the upside on euro dollar. Again, we could still see a pullback all the way down to 1612, which can be seen here on this chart in blue, and it would still be, for me, in a unless the candle was a pretty strong candle to the downside, will still be overall bullish, especially on this higher time frame, the monthly. So if I go down to the weekly time frame, again, let's see where we are. On the weekly time frame, we had we've had higher lows. We had a gap up after the French elections, and pretty much prices have not looked back since. Now we've come to this 120 level, and which is likely going to be a psychological level. And we almost went up to 121, but we have pulled back all the way down and found this support at the 200 period moving average on the weekly time frame. Now currently the 200 period moving average is sitting at 1690, and below which we have the 20 period moving average sitting at 1675. I did mention earlier that those are potential areas where we'd find dynamic support, which are these moving averages. These moving averages are pretty much closing. At some point, it does appear that pretty soon we're going to have the 20 period cross the 200 period moving average, further adding to possible dynamic support of prices and a further continuation to the upside. Now, on the weekly time frame, again, last week we did have a bullish week. We did close off with the highs, and so far this week we have pushed downwards, but the fact that buyers have come back into the market and drove prices up is a good sign in light of the bullish move last week. And previous to that, we did test we crossed below the 200 period moving average, but we have held above it for quite some time now. So we've held above the 1710 level. So if we go down to the daily chart, I'm not a huge fan of the daily chart. Let's just have a look. Loads. So on the daily chart, we've had a bit of a pullback and consolidation over here on the left. In what was that? In August, we've pushed up to the 120, almost to 121. Had a bit of a consolidation there, a couple of tests, and we've pulled back downwards. And while we did find support at 17 and the high 16s, we have pushed up, and we did have a bit of a sell-off. Now, with the bit of a sell-off that we've had with 4 consecutive bearish days, I did say the fact that the candles are not very large in size, not closing near their lows, was an indication to me that bears have not really taken hold of this market, and the sellers are somewhat cautious, and there might be some bullish momentum going forward. Now, we have had a bullish day on the 18th, and possibly off this support at 1728. We came pretty close to it. So overall, if this is not going to be a lower high, I suppose we could see prices head back up to retest all the way up at 18, up into the 1870s. If, however, we're not able to head upwards, particularly on this daily chart, if we do sell off from this 20 period moving average, again we'll be looking all the way back down to 1728, 1710, and possibly a break from there. We'll be looking at the dynamic support that I've mentioned just a couple of minutes ago now, and successfully navigating those levels, we'll be looking at 1612. So that should wrap up the analysis for euro dollar. So before I go, LCS, like, comment, subscribe. Thanks for watching.